Hello tankers! In today's episode, we'll be reviewing last week's live stream. We'll also be discussing a new supplies experiment and critical errors in the game. Last week, we had a great live stream with Cedric, also known as Hazel-Rah, where we discussed a lot of your questions and hot topics in the game. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to discuss everything in detail and to answer live chat. But the most important thing is that we realized that you like this event a lot, which means we'll be having more of them from time to time. We haven't yet decided how often and whether they will be occasionally replacing vlog episodes, but as soon as we decide, we'll let you know. If you missed last week's live stream, you really should watch the recording. There were lots of interesting details about future plans, and Hazel-Rah even showed the artillery in action. By the way, last week Hazel-Rah tested the new turret on the main servers and changed some of its properties. Sometimes a test like this gives much better results than a whole week of testing on the test servers. In the meantime, we're all pretty excited about having the turret in the game. In the live stream, we also discussed the supplies experiment that took place 2 weeks ago.
No, we won't be changing supplies in that way. It would make them too boring. But we are going to try one more experiment, this time with different settings. We haven't decided on the funnel parameters yet, but in general, cooldowns will be much shorter and there will be smart cooldowns, but possibly with the different settings. The most important thing is that tankers will be able to play with the regular supply settings in pro battles. We don't have exact dates yet, it might be next weekend or it might be later.
One more point that we discussed in the live stream is critical errors in the game, so let's have a look at those in more detail. One of the top problems in Tanki Online right now is the dreaded critical error, which affects both the browser version and the client version of the game. Some people only get it rarely, some others get it often. The problem is that it always happens at the worst possible time. Our programmers, analysts and testers have been investing a lot of time into understanding what causes the errors and what they need to do to eliminate them. What they've discovered is that the general cause for critical errors is lots of updates in the game.
Some players insist that in the past we had less errors. And they are right, we had less problems because there were very few releases. But throughout 2K16, we've implemented a huge amount of releases and many of them need to coexist peacefully. When this doesn't happen, the browser or game client goes nuts and triggers a critical error. For example, a tanker using Vulcan increases the chance of the error happening for others in the same battle. The problem here is the recoil effect of the turret while it's firing. What's worse, players don't even have to be looking at the turret. Just being in the same battle is enough to trigger the error. The interesting part is that the problems did not start immediately after Vulcan's release. It was one of the updates that came later that triggered the anomaly. Now this problem is solved, of course.
There are many such cases. Here's one that appeared as a result of two updates that are totally unrelated: changing equipment and mouse controls. So, a player is using keyboard controls, then uses the mouse to visit the garage and change his equipment. If, upon returning to the battle, he clicks with his mouse in the game window to activate mouse controls and is also destroyed, a critical error is triggered. This specific set of data is too complicated for Flash to handle, and that's when the error shows up.
And here is my favorite scenario. A tanker plants a mine, then goes to the garage to change equipment. If another player gets close to the mine and it becomes visible, and the player who planted it is destroyed, the critical error is triggered. Here is why that happens. Flash asks the server, "Is there a mine?" The server says, "Yes, oh wait, no." Is the player who planted it still alive? No. Is he still in the battle? Not exactly. And the poor tanker, as they say, is history.
As you watch this episode, Tanki developers have already dealt with many of the reasons behind critical errors, reducing them considerably. We'll be telling you more about our successes in dealing with even more of these issues in upcoming episodes. So as soon as you're done watching this vlog, make sure you log into the game and try a few battles. We want to hear your opinion in the comments. And if you feel that the situation has improved, click the like button. This will show us that we're on the right track. Last Saturday, February 25th, the Winter Tandem Tournament came to its conclusion, and the champions from the last edition managed to defend their title successfully. The winners have already received crystals, gold boxes, and 3 months of premium account time each. Well done! Additionally, on the 21st of February, the Lords of the Points tournament kicked off. The format is 7x7 battles, with minimal restrictions on turrets and hulls in CP mode. There are also 2 categories, with micro upgrades and without micro upgrades. We already have more than 100 teams. The tournament starts with 2 group phases and then moves on to playoffs. The winners will get the prestigious Acid Paint, tons of crystals and XT items.
At the same time, Blitz tournaments are taking place every week for ratings. These battles will go on till the end of March. Then, depending on the ratings, some teams will go on to the Masters of Sword tournament.
Video of the week. Last time, you had to shoot a frag movie with the recently buffed Isida. Here's the best entry of all. For next episode, shoot a parkour video using Hammer's new Bouncing Projectiles feature. Make sure you're wearing the metallic paint. That's all for this episode, Tankers. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to make sure you don't miss any of our upcoming vlogs and live streams. Oh, one more thing. Remember the test box videos we used to feature in the vlog some time ago? Great news! We've found one more. Check it out. Last time, we asked you to guess how many shots it would take Hammer to self-destruct. The correct answer is 10. Here are our winners, and here's the new question.